nice to see you at the end of this summer week. There's not a lot of summer left. We're already hard at work on the High Holy Days, so we have a lot of exciting programming coming up to prepare us for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So keep an eye out in your weekly emails. A special Shabbat Shalom to Sally Besser, who's been a member of CBS for about a year, but I think this is the very first time we actually met because of COVID. And Fred, what is your last name? Emmerich. Okay, and Fred just moved to Napa and was with us for Torah study last week. And I think this is your first Shabbat service with us. So a special welcome to you as well. And good Shabbos to everyone who I see in some cases weekend and week out, and in some cases whenever you can get here. But it's good to see you. And we're going to turn to page 120 and start with the lighting of our Shabbat candles. And I have the honor of inviting a very formidable tag team, Ann Purcellay and my wife, Carolyn Gill. So if you'd come up, the blessings on page 120. You're not really formidable, you're wonderful.
Maybe more afraid of her. That's what my son said. Do you want to light the candle? Okay.
Gordon is better at the jokes than I am. But you are an impressive team.
Well, we love each other.
Yes,
I think these are from last week, too.
this is an amazing teacher.
Okay, you got that one.
Do we just say it or sing it?
Why don't
Whatever
say
you
it
like,
and then-
whatever you like.
What do you want to do, Carolyn?
Blow.
These are like trick candles.
Yeah, no, it's the mask.
I know.
Oh, that's right, the mask. Whatever.
We'll say it then, because he'll sing it.
Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Let's turn to page 142 for the singing of Shalom Aleichem. I know that when there are conflicts in this country or around the world during the week, and there always are, I like this particular song because it's all about peace. And in light of what's happened in the last 24 hours with missiles from Hezbollah in Lebanon going into northern Israel and the continued strife and conflict and politicization in this country, I think a song that aspires for peace is always appropriate.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashavet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashavet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bafuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Hakadosh, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Tehem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Hakadosh, Hakadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 146, we continue with our call to worship the Baruch Hu. If you are able, please rise.
We're going to try a new melody tonight. It starts with Ilalai's. Yai lai la lai, yai lai la lai, yai lai 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 la lai, yai lai la lai, yai lai la lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai la lai, yai lai la lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai.
Page 149, there are two blessings, two brachot before the Shema, before our central affirmation of monotheism. The first one is Ma'ariv Aravim, a prayer about God as creator. And let's read the English translation together of this prayer on the top of 149. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. And let's turn to page 151 for the translation of the second blessing before the Shema. This one is Ahavat Olam. The first blessing is about God, praising God as creator. This one is about praising God as revealer, the God who reveals Torah to us in love. And let's read this together. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Mahuto Leolam Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. With all your might, with all your soul, with all your heart, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Take these words that I command this day, keep them in your heart. Take these words which I command this day, keep them in your heart. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Bind them as a sign on your hand. Bind them for a sign upon your hand. On your gates. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God. Love Adonai your God.
Page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. That there is a better place, a promised land. That the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 158, Micha Mocha.
We're just going to do the first few lines. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha nedar ba'kodesh, norat hilot, osefele, norat hilot, osefele, Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha nedar ba'kodesh, Norat hilot, osefele, norat hilot, osefele. One more time. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha nedar ba'kodesh, norat hilot, osefele, norat hilot. Oh, Sefele. I just want to say one thing. It's a pretty simple melody,
has a wide range, but it's pretty simple otherwise. And it's a round. So as you learn it, you can come in many different places. Micha, mocha, ba'e, micha, mocha, ba'e, micha, mocha. So basically every couple bars. So as you learn it, you can do that. And then it has this echo effect at the end. Oh, say, fele, oh, say, fele, oh, say. It's kind of this simulating the sound it must have been as people reach the end, right? Because this is all singing, I would imagine.
Well, hopefully as we get more familiar with that melody, we'll be able to do that. That sounds pretty
Feel
nice.
free to do it as you feel comfortable
Okay.
doing it. Okay.
We're going to continue on page 161 at the top of the page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom. Hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha. Amen. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom. V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
Please take time now for your own private thoughts and prayers.
Sha'atahu Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, Le'olam va'ed, Odim anachnu la. Sha'atahu Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, Le'olam va'ed. Oh, give thanks for the sky above, for the new snow of December, for the spring and the summer song that the autumn winds remember. Oh, sing out for the love that grows and the life that flows within us. Oh, be glad for another day. Sha'atahu Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, Le'olam va'ed, Modim anachnu la. Sha'atahu Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, Le'olam va'ed, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, Le'olam va'ed.
We take time now in our service to think of those in need of healing on this Shabbat, healing of body, healing of spirit, and healing of heart. And we ask God to bestow the bracha, the blessing of refuah shlema, full and complete healing on the following men and women from our CBS family, or those known and loved by those in our community. Harris Nussbaum, Lynn Mikulski, Ilana Massey, Barbara Balick, Kevin Brackett, Ginny Sims, Peter Balanik, Eileen Conklin, Nancy Jeanette, Michelle Camisia, Joshua Hyman, Erica Cornelison, Dylan Bonick, Diane Butler, Elsa Loach, Tony Wine, and Elena Goldman. And if anyone has a name they wish to add, please do so.
Mark needs the class.
Do you have a name you want to add? Okay.
Jocelyn.
The Misha Berach is on page 511.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach Imotenu Or habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos to all of you. So at this stage in the Torah being the great narrative of the Jewish people, we're actually going to be opening up our Torah scroll for the next 3 Saturdays in a row. We have 3 bar and bat mitzvahs coming up, which is very, very exciting. But the Torah does represent so many of the important stories, both beautiful and challenging in our tradition. And at this point in the reading cycle, The Jewish people, the people of Israel, have been wandering through the desert for 40 years. They have been a nomadic community, moving constantly. They have built countless camps, and they have set up and taken down the Mishkan, the tabernacle, innumerable times. As Moses tells them what their new life is going to look like in the land of Canaan, a land he's never going to make it to, his focus is on stability, consistency, and centralization. From this point forward, as soon as they cross the Jordan River, and this is very different than what they've known before, they will have one geographical location for worship, Jerusalem. They will have one physical site for their sacrifices, the temple. And they will have one chief religious leader, the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. For 4 decades and even longer, going all the way back to the book of Genesis, Jews have honored God, built shrines and altars everywhere throughout the ancient Near East. Jacob plants a stone in the ground. Abraham offers sacrifices in different parts in Israel. And these shrines and altars are constructed thousands of miles apart. And it has essentially up to now been every man and woman for his or herself, spiritually speaking. Radical autonomy in many ways. Yet in this Torah portion, Re'eh, in the book of Deuteronomy, Moses tries to organize, unify, and centralize what had been a kind of free-for-all in the area of religion and spirituality. Part of it was also an effort on his part to wean his people away from the influence of foreign cultures and idolatrous practices that they encountered on all of their travels, especially during this 40-year period. The structure that Moses established, culminating with the first and the second temples in Jerusalem, lasted, as I think many of you know, for many, many centuries until the year 70, when the Romans destroyed the temple for the second and final time. Ever since, for 2,000 years now, the Jewish community has been decentralized once again. With no temple any longer, synagogues and congregations have been created all over the world, from Napa to Nepal, and even in large urban areas themselves, New York, LA, San Francisco. There are multiple synagogues, multiple congregations, even in a very small geographic location. There is, generally speaking, no single supreme authority who speaks for or leads the Jewish people. Individual Jews, in many ways, don't even need spiritual leaders to commune with God. You don't need me on Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur to connect with God, to commune with the divine, to ask for forgiveness for the sins of the past year. So which is the better model to build a robust and healthy Jewish community? Does today's decentralization lead to chaos and confusion? What is it that ultimately binds Reform, Conservative, Orthodox, Reconstructionist, and Renewal congregations, if anything? But is the model from Deuteronomy any better? Do we really want to return to a uniform, standardized, centralized, even authoritarian system? The truth, as is often the case in religion and I think politics, is probably something in between the two paradigms. Order without creativity can become sterile and oppressive. But autonomy without structure can be chaotic and rudderless. I don't have the answer, but I think that future generations, I hope that future generations will continue to wrestle with how best to organize our people, how best to organize our religion, and how best to move forward in the most effective, efficient, and meaningful way possible. Jews have been doing this for centuries and centuries and centuries, and I have hope, I have faith that our people will continue to do this into the years, decades, and centuries to come. Ken Yehי Ratzon, may it be God's will. We are going to continue now on page 586 with the Elenu Prayer. Again, if you are able, please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו בהם, וגורל עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. I have the honor and the privilege to invite board member Josh Slater to come to the Bima to share some important announcements with us tonight.
Thank you. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
As Rabbi Niles mentioned, we have multiple opportunities to celebrate, multiple simchas coming up, beginning with next weekend, Friday night and Saturday, starting to join with Cameron Garion's family in celebration of his bar mitzvah, and continuing the week following, celebrating with the Honig family in celebration of Sophia's bat mitzvah. In addition, on August 25th and August 28th, we begin to lead into the high holidays, with the 25th at 7:15 being kind of a preparation guide with Rabbi Niles, and then continuing on the 28th as we celebrate Slichot with guided meditation and poetry and music. And with that, also remember that the 29th begins religious school. So if you have not signed up, please make sure that you do and get ready. It should be a good year. And we will also be having I don't see it here, but I know that we're going to be having an opportunity to have a meeting with our new director.
Yes, our new
which
education.
I don't think, I don't see here, but let me give it to you.
Yeah.
It is on the 14th for Havdalah. At 7:30, we'll have a Zoom meeting with our new Education Engagement Director, Leah Savage.
A week from tomorrow.
Yes.
Right.
So we will look forward to seeing you then. And in the meantime, have a peaceful Shabbos. Good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Josh. Yes, this is the end of Leah's first week as our new full-time staff member. Leah joins Gordon and me and Lauren, and we're very excited. So next Saturday is a great chance to ask her questions and learn a little bit more about her as she really focuses on our young families and our students and creating great engagement. I forgot to add at the beginning, Josh, you talked about simchas. upcoming joyous events. Linda and Larry Miller just had a grandson. They didn't have the grandson. Their son had a grandson and his wife, who was born, I believe, this morning.
They had a son, and
Their son and his wife had a son this morning. I think his name is Max.
Which became the grandson
Right. So
of Linda.
Right.
And
So they are, I don't remember which grandchild this is, but they're happy grandparents once again. So we extend our mazel tov to Linda and Larry on this exciting moment.
and what's on second?
And what's on second? Yeah. I don't know how to segue from that to Kaddish, but I'll try. But Judaism is a cycle of life, and we do move from life to death and from death to life. And now at the end of our service, we do turn to think of those who are no longer with us, those who have died both recently and in seasons past. We remember those from our community who, or known by those in our community who have died during this past year. Peter DePasqua, Estelle Eisenberg, Rosie Rosenthal, Elliot Kapchan, Bill Chiat, Ed Hames, Arthur Waldinger, Judy Donaldson, Elizabeth Mautner, Helen Goodman, Michael Duff Fisher, Margaret Mary Oliveto, Ahuva Ben David, Dr. I. Harold Shevlin, Isadora Smith, Sanford Rubin, Stuart Paley, Bonnie Kapeloff Mamie, Dr. Ian Miller, Jimmy Rabb, Sandra Somick, Michael Gordon, and Larry Elson. We also honor and remember the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Sandra Stoltz, David Pinney, Ira Selaton, Josephine Novus, Paul Decker, Harry Rose, Michael Perlman, Fritzy Schechter, Max Yeswich, Julius Gorin, Daniel Court, Werner Frost, Jake Klebanoff, David Bloom, Hilda Lieberstein, and Estelle Mautner. And if anyone has a name to add, I invite you to please do so. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayachon v'yomachon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael b'gala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam elamei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace grant peace to all those in mourning and comfort to all those who are bereaved. And let us all say amen. Please be seated. Thank you again to Carolyn and Ann for lighting our Shabbat candles, and to Josh for our announcements, and to you, as always, Gordon. What are we going to conclude with tonight as a final song before we do the Kiddush and Motzi?
Page 657. Peace will surely come to us, to everyone, salam, for us and for the entire world. O Yavo Shalom Aleinu, O Yavo Shalom Aleinu, O Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. O Yavo Shalom Aleinu, O Yavo Shalom Aleinu, O Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam
Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'akulam. Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'akulam. Salam Aleinu ve'akol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'akol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Shalom Aleinu. Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Yavo Shalom Aleinu.
If you're able, please rise. We're going to conclude now with the Kiddush, the Kiddush, and the Motzi. Gordon, would you lead us?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei puri hagafen.
L'chaim. I'll tell you, I don't know when we'll be able to return to our minhag, our custom of when we do the motzi, reaching out and touching our neighbors and blessing the challah while being interwoven with one another in our community and blessing ourselves. I can't make any promises, but I hope and think we will get to do that again once we are in a better place with COVID. But for now, Gordon and I will do the bracha along with you and on behalf of everyone.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
B'tei
Avo.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. See you soon.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom.